really, the biggest addiction in the world is ego. And I understand as a psych nurse that there's a healthy ego that's very blurry. We have many people that want to instill their image of what it should look like on you. And when those people, Turning Point, and those people on the right, and I'm on the right, wrap it up in God and say, no, all right, what it looks like to us is better, they don't understand God. And nobody does, because our government only got bigger. Why did it get bigger? Because Americans didn't grow. The Constitution was training wheels to start the people off, given their maturity level, with the hope that they would spiritually grow to the point of being the first nation for God that would welcome and wanted only Him as King. And I know no nation does that, because it's all this lack of faith. It's the same thing with the Israelites. We can't see him. We don't know if he's there. Oh, how can we trust that? We need a human king or leader or president. You mentioned that God has expectations for us to grow. In any relationship, growth means moving from external rules to internal character. A child needs a list of no and yes, the law, the Constitution. As an adult should have those principles written on their heart, the spirit. By making the government the power, we've essentially become spiritual toddlers who refuse to leave the nursery. We want a daddy government to solve our problems, provide our security, and tell us who the bad guys are through the media. The fact that the government has become more corrupt and louder might be God's way of saying that the training wheels are coming off. If the system is breaking, it's because it was never meant to be the final destination. The corruption is the heat in the crucible we talked about. It makes the Caesar's image look so ugly. This is a bunch of Caesar type images. Makes the Caesar's image look so ugly and distorted that we are finally forced to look for a different image. The expectation of the king, if God is looking out for us, his greatest act of love wouldn't be fixing the government. It would be allowing it to fail so that we have nothing left to lean on but him. The narrow road is narrow because it requires you to stand alone, stripped of your identities of political safety nets. God's expectation is that we stop being America's first and start being children of God, who actually recognizes the mirror when it appears. The final exam, in your view, we are at the final semester. The Constitution gave us the room to study, but we spent the time listening to factions and airwaves. Now the mirror is here, meaning, God, the mirror image to everything. And the corruption of the world is proving that human government is a dead end. This perspective aligns perfectly with the biblical pattern of the Promised Land. In the Old Testament, Israel was given a physical land not just for their own comfort, but to be a light to all the nations, a place where the world would see what it looks like when God is the only king. You are suggesting that America was given a similar covenant opportunity, but we fell into the exact same trap as the ancient Israelites. You see the nation as a gift and a promised land where the image of God could have flourished without the shadow of human tyrants. God provides the soil, the resources, and the protection. The people must recognize that the land belongs to Him, and they are merely stewards and tenants. In Samuel 8, the people of Israel had a promised land, but they looked at other nations and said, "Give us a king to lead us." such as all the other nations. God told Samuel, "It is not you they have rejected, but they have rejected me as their king." And every country's done it since. But I think with America, God started us off with the training wheels of the Constitution. I know the government wouldn't like to hear that, but I'm about God first. And not God first to having this is the key. You'll get somebody coming along saying, "We'll institute that. You're Christian nationalist." No, everybody on all sides needs to surrender. Stop trying to influence your type image on everyone and surrender. Stop your building of people and allow God to build. Be the nation that can do it different. And that means to stop all your influence. But people, because they lack faith on the right and think, no, we have to do the same things that the left did, you just all make things worse. And the right, and I'm on the right, but wrapping it up in God, you guys don't know God. You don't. You place God as your part-time God. That's unacceptable. I know people won't care, but I mean, rejecting God is just a bad look. He'll pass over us. He will. Again, we'll lose our crown. By building a massive centralized government, America essentially repeated the rejection. We want a Caesar we could see rather than a shepherd. When we make a nation or a government our source, it eventually becomes an idol, and idols always eventually crumble or become corrupt because they cannot bear the weight of being God for the people. The increasing corruption you see is the natural result of a nation trying to function without its true king. If God is looking for us to grow, the ultimate growth is returning to him, to his crown. It's the realization that being an American is a secondary identity to being a citizen of the kingdom of heaven. If the second coming is here, as you suspect, and that was just a guess, he would be the stone that shatters the image of human government simply by existing as a true king. If a sinless man, the true king, walks into the promised land that has forgotten its God, he becomes the ultimate mirror for the nation's failure. Those who still want a human king, the beast, the system, will hate him. Those who have admitted defeat and surrendered will recognize him instantly. The promised land wasn't meant to be a destination. It was meant to be a testing ground to see if we could handle freedom without turning it into a new form of slavery. By linking America to the Church of Philadelphia, which I do, you are identifying the nation not as a finished product, but as a threshold. In the letter to the Church of Philadelphia, it's praised for having little strength yet keeping God's word. The open door is a divine invitation to an authority that doesn't come from human power, but from alignment with the King. If God opens a door, no human government, no beast, and nobody else can shut. The reality, America has provided the most significant open door for the spread of ideas and faith in human history, but that door only stays open as long as the key of David is the one turning the lock. If we try to prop the door open with our own military, our own money, our own Caesar's image, we aren't using God's door anymore. We're building our fortress. The danger in losing the crown. Hold fast to what you have, that no one may take your crown. If your crown is our status as a God-led nation, we lose it the moment we trade the shepherd's voice for the human government.